he lifted up my skirt and showed my knickers to everybody. If you want to spend the money, because like you can't use it when you're dead, can you? Because they are more bespokely made. Bespokely, is that a word? Hello everybody and welcome back to Knitting with Betty. Just check my mics on, yep. It's just going to be a quick one today as it's Christmas and everything's all chaotic at Christmas time, isn't it? So I'm sure you don't have much time to sit down either. If you're anything like me, you've been panic knitting at the last minute. I have finished my mum's jumper. I finished it a few days ago and I've blocked it and it took about 2 days to dry. So I had it lying flat on some, they're like car tiles. They're like made of like foam or something. And they're a lot cheaper than buying the proper blocking mats. So I just took a couple of my dad's. And because they're made of foam, they don't like let air come through. And so it did take about 2 days for it to dry. And halfway through I moved it to a flat dryer, which it has bars on it, so it did kind of dry in that kind of lined shape, which I was trying to avoid by drying it flat. So I know, I think it's Lakeland, they used to do like mesh drying racks that you can put in your bath for drying flat jumpers. So I might look into that for the next time I'm doing drying a jumper, because that would be a lot more useful if the air can flow through it, so it doesn't take quite so long to dry. But it does mean it is Christmas Eve, so I will be panic sewing the berries onto the jumper. So let me show you it actually rather than just talk about it. So let me get it the right way around. This is the jumper. It's absolutely massive, which I'm a little bit worried about. It will fit around the bust for my mum, but I think it's going to be quite long on her because she's shorter than I am. So and might have quite long sleeves as well. Hello. So it might have quite long sleeves as well. So we'll see on Christmas Day whether it fits her or not, but I absolutely love this jumper, and if it doesn't fit her I am going to steal it because it's so big and cuddly and warm. I just love it. So the Cumulus by Fibre Spates is the furry one that I used. The original pattern calls for a mohair, but I think my mum's allergic to mohair, and I don't like mohair, it makes me scratch. So the Cumulus, which is alpaca, is so soft, it's absolutely beautiful. And the reason I knitted it with both the alpaca and I chose a merino, which was 100% merino, it was quite expensive, is because my mum's in her twilight years, shall we say, and she gets very, very cold, especially in winter in the countryside. What I hadn't anticipated moving to the countryside, it's a lot colder than living in a town because you don't have the buildings to sort of keep the heat in. So when we moved here, it was quite a shock that, yeah, it gets quite cold, even though technically it should be warmer where we moved. Well, no, we lived in the south middle, so southeast really, I suppose you could call it. So that is like the warmest part of the UK. So maybe it should be colder, but down south it's quite mild really. It doesn't really get that cold. Very rarely snows, and if it does, it doesn't settle. It will be turned to mush in a couple of days. So anyway, the point being, this is going to be lovely and warm for her. So There we go, let's try and get it all in for you. And obviously having the ferrule, you've got double the amount of yarn there, so extra warm for her, so she's going to enjoy it, hopefully if it fits her. So like I said, just got the berries to go, which again I'm going to be using Cumulus, and do I have it in here? Actually I do. So I bought this colour, which I can't for the life of me remember what it's called. Let me see if I've got the tickety thing here. No, I don't. I don't know what colour it's called, but it's a beautiful sort of like this. This goes really well actually. Burgundy kind of deep kind of red colour. So I'm going to be holding that with. This is. I have that ticket, but I don't. This is yes I do have it. It is Nordic Yarn Eco Cashmere, and this is the one that I bought that I was going to make my cloud busting cardigan in, but it was double knit by accident, not 4-ply, so I can use it for the berries. I'm going to be holding one of these with one of these. Let me show you. And I have done a die fast test. So I went to my Christmas lunch with my knitting buddies, and one of the ladies suggested that I wash this before attaching it to the jumper, just in case it bleeds. So I did a little test. I just cut like that much off and washed it, and then dried it on a paper towel, a white paper towel, and luckily none of the dye came out. So none of the dye came out in the washing water or onto the napkin. So these are quite dye fast, and I would say that it's generally the hand dyed yarns that have the colour fasting problems, because they are more bespokely made. Bespokely, is that a word? Generally factory made yarns are pretty good with their fastness, but again, always check, because you don't want to ruin your nice cream jumper by putting on something so highly coloured as a red. So yeah, that was quite good that these are fast, so I don't have to bother to wind them and wind off some and wash it. So that is my mummy's jumper, and so we are Christmas Eve, and I've got the berries to do. Wish me luck. I think I should get it done in time, and I don't know if I'll have it wrapped, but there we go. So what I've been doing between my last video and this video is I've tried to do a few more shorts to keep you up to date with what I've been doing, just because, you know, sitting down to do these videos I have to do my hair and makeup, because believe it or not I don't look like this all the time. So I've been trying to do a few more shorts so I don't have to get glammed up. So if you've already seen this, I apologise, but I did show everybody at the beginning of December my lovely Knitivity. Now I bought the Knitivity pattern, I think it must have been about 7 years ago. I had just bought my own flat, and I was also a student at the time, so I was a little bit broke, but I spent my last £10, because the pattern was £10, on the magazine for the pattern of the Knitivity, because I thought it was so cute, and it came with like enough yarn for the first 2 or 3 little figurines. But every year since, I've tried to add something to my Knitivity. This year I couldn't, because I was doing my mum's jumper. So, and last year I added a camel, which wasn't in the original pattern. I had to buy a new pattern for that. But I had to have it because it was so cute. But I haven't done the camel's face or legs, so he's not yet complete, but I thought I would show you. So the first was obviously Mary and Joseph, and the baby Jesus. Where's baby Jesus? There it is. So these are so cute. So Mary's got a little bit of a wonky face because she's been up all night giving birth. And look at the little sandals, aren't they so adorable? That's like, this is what made it for me. I had, oh, look at them, they're so cute. And this is Joseph. And then you have the manger, which that's just so adorable, isn't it, with the straw in. And then the baby Jesus, my little baby Jesus with his halo. And so he goes in the manger. So that was the first year. Whoops, sorry Jesus. Let's pop him down. Then the following year I think I started, did I do the angel or did I do the shepherds? Might have done 1 or 2 shepherds, so I've got all 3 shepherds done. And the cutest little shepherd's crook, which you put a pipe cleaner through the middle. So adorable. Look at these come off. How cute are these? And again, his little sandals. It's so cute. And then this one I love the little sheep. You make it all loopy, so he's all fluffy, and the shepherd's carrying the sheep. And then the third one, I was sure he had a crook. Oh no, no, that's Joseph, my bad. This is the third one. So that's all 3 with the sheep. Whoops. Adorable, aren't they? And they've all got different coloured bands around their heads and around their skirts, tabards. What would you call that? Shepherd's outfits. So they were the next year. Then we had the angel with the star, the North Star that the wise men were following. Didn't have wise men at that point. Then I had to do the donkey because the donkey was really cute. His mane's a bit wonky. It's a wonky donkey. But look at these little ears. They're so adorable. And his little tail. Oh, it looks like it's coming off. Then I have a Christmas mouse. So I did this at a Christmas crafting lesson type thing a couple of years ago. I think maybe 3 years ago. And I thought, well, I might as well add the mouse to the Nativity, except it's like giant compared with the donkey. So it's like the Christmas rat. But it's cute anyway. And then this is one of the wise men. I can't remember which one he is. Is that the gold? Could be the gold. But I haven't done his face, but I've done most of him. Again, little sandals, so cute. And then the last thing that was added last year was the Christmas camel. So obviously the wise men travel on the camel. So I've still got 2 of the wise men to go. The rest of the camel. Is that it? That could be it. And then I'll be done. But that's rather exciting. And then this came with a pattern, like a downloadable printout. It's been in my loft, so it's got a bit damaged by water. But this is the stable, so that it comes with like a link to print out the stable, and then you can attach it to cardboard. I do eventually want to get a proper stable, but the ones in my local garden centre are, I think they're like £80 or something, just for a stable. It's like, I'm a bit stingy, like I'll make do with this cardboard one until I can maybe find one in the sale. But maybe in the very final year I might invest in a stable for all of my little figurines. So I've popped this out we've got like an ottoman in the hall, so I've popped this on there with my little nativity scene, which I just think it's so cute. And it's like, it was my last £10 and I was like, I could go without food, I need that nativity set. So yeah, maybe next year I'll add to it, you never know. What else have I been doing? So whilst I was waiting for my mum's jumper to dry, I got on with setting in the sleeves to the Tyrolean cardigan that I have been working on. So I popped the what's it called, button stand on, and the button band, I guess you call it. Don't have any buttons for it yet, need to look for those. And I've set in the sleeves, and just look at how wonderfully puffy those are. They are just amazing, aren't they? That's the other one. So when you knit, or if you knit this pattern, it looks a bit crazy whilst you're knitting the sleeve, because it is such an odd shape. Like, it's really, really skinny at the wrists, and then it goes wider and wider, and you're thinking, oh my god, it's massive. But it does create this beautiful sort of pleated look that is so puffy. Like, I have never got sleeves to be that puffy before. They're just wonderful, and I think this is like my new go-to way of doing sleeves, because it is so fabulously large. And when I put this on, you don't need like shoulder pads, they're so like stiff and stick out so much, so it's definitely a really great pattern for sleeves. So I have started also doing the embroidery. So every other lattice knit way of the pattern, you put a little flower in. So I've done 3 on each side so far, and I'm trying to do them in pairs so I can get them to look even. There we go. Isn't it fabulous? It's looking so pretty already. And I'm just sort of using up odds and sods for this to do the embroidery, but I'm loving it. Oh yeah, I forgot to say that you also double crochet around the edges of the bottom edge, the neck edge, and the cuffs, so that I think that's really pretty detail actually, just in the green. So and I'll be doing the rest of those flowers in the sort of betwixtmas part of Christmas, because there's not a lot else to do, is there, at this time of year? Everyone sort of shuts down for a couple of weeks. Oh, I've caught that. Let's try. There we go. So that is what I will be up to over the Christmas sort of 2 weeks between now and New Year's. So let me know in the comments what you're going to be doing. Are you going to start a new project? Are you going to finish a project maybe? And have you been knitting for people for Christmas and are furiously doing it at the last minute like me? So actually, I haven't shown you. Wait a minute. I have actually started my Susan Crawford knit. There it is. So I was very naughty and hadn't started it for ages for the knit along, but I have started it now. So I am on the ribbing, which is always the most painful part, because it's like, for vintage patterns, it's like 3 or 4 inches of one-on-one ribbing. So I've done about maybe 2 inches, just under 2 inches, 1.5 to 2 inches. So I've got, I think this is a 3-inch welt. And then I can start the colour work, obviously. But I have actually started it now, which I hadn't a few weeks ago, which is naughty because it's kind of my job. So I'll also be doing that if I finish the embroidery. I think the embroidery is going to take quite a long time because it's quite fiddly, and there is like the whole of the front and the whole of the back to do as well. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. Oh, and another thing I was going to tell you about this. So I have bought this beautiful scarf. So I think it was 2022. A friend of mine passed away very, very suddenly. I think he had an embolism, but it was absolutely catastrophic, and there was no way back from it. So his family had to turn off his life support, unfortunately. But it really, really hit me hard. And like, I hadn't seen this guy. We went to art school together, so we would have been 18, 19. So I hadn't seen this guy for literally 15 years. I'd sort of, like, I followed him on Facebook and Instagram and had kept up with his life that way. but he was notoriously really rubbish at keeping up to date with people as well, so it wasn't just my fault. But he'd had the most fantastic life. He'd moved to America and he'd worked in Disney in Florida, which he was just perfect for because he was just such a lovely guy and he was really chatty and would have loved talking to all the kids. And then he met the love of his life and they got married, and he's American, the guy that he married. And they were unfortunately just about to start trying for a child together, which is the saddest thing, when he suddenly passed away. But even though I hadn't sort of talked to him for 15 years, he was a big part of my time at art school. He was the funniest person I've ever met in my life. He was so cheeky. This was a guy that in the middle of a club in Bournemouth, because I went to Bournemouth Art School, he lifted up my skirt and showed my knickers to everybody. And like anyone else it would have been like horrendous, but because it was him I couldn't stop laughing even though I was like flashing everybody. That's the kind of person he was. He was just so much fun to be around, but really naughty and cheeky at the same time. And his motto in life was Carpe Diem, which is such a cheesy thing, and he even had it tattooed on his arm, I think, later on. But yeah, so it really hit me a couple of years ago when he passed away, and it was just before Christmas. I think it was like the 22nd of December he passed away, and it really sort of struck a nerve with me, because what would he have been, about 33, 34, which is no age, and you know, he'd just got married and was about to have kids, and it really, you know, knocked me for six that life could be taken away so in such an instant. But because his sort of motto was seize the day, I just sort of sat there crying for about 24 hours, and then I thought, oh, this is ridiculous. He'd just be telling me to stop being so silly. And it really made me think, you know, life is so precious and it's so fleeting that, you know, why am I like being a spendthrift? I might as well like spend the money that I earn. So I wanted a silk scarf for absolutely ages that was quite expensive, and I thought, screw it, I'm just going to buy it, because like Paul would, like he wouldn't be saving his money for a rainy day. And it really, yeah, it made me think, you know, if you want to spend the money, because like you can't use it when you're dead, can you? So and every year since his passing, I've bought something fabulously frivolous that I don't need but I want. And so I could get the other scarves, but I can't be bothered. This year's frivolous item, I followed this lady on Instagram. I will pop it in the not the comments, in the description box, who designed it. But I followed her on Instagram. She's an artist called Veronica, I think, and I absolutely love this silk scarf. And she'd done a version in black and white, but when I saw that she'd got this coloured version, I bought it immediately. I was like, that can be my remembrance gift for from Paul this year. So it's got all the screen grates on it, which I think are absolutely beautiful, and I love her style of illustration. And she's just brought out a new collection. I think they're based on star signs, but they're really, really pretty. So definitely go down below, look for her her name and a link to her website, and go and have a look at her things, because they're absolutely beautiful. And she's based in the US. So that was another, am I going to get stung by customs? But I don't think I was, actually. But yeah, go and check her out. She's absolutely fab. So that is my seize the day. Screw it, I'm going to buy it because it's beautiful. And I have been wearing it ever since. Just a little neck scarf. Usually I use silk scarves as hair things at night time when I've got my rollers in, but this one's so beautiful I wanted to wear it out and about as well. So my summing up of the year is life is short, so if you want all the yarn, buy it, because you can't use your money when you're dead, and life is so precious and fleeting that you might as well enjoy it whilst you can, and just Carpe Diem, as Paul would say. And just as like a little sort of lovely update from his life, because him and his husband were trying for kids before he passed away. His husband went on to use Paul's sperm, and they've got a little, I think it's a little boy. I think he must be about 6 months to a year old by now. So there was something positive that came out of it, that he could at least have Paul's child, and Paul's family will still be sort of, he'll still live on through his child, so that's biologically Paul's. So that's quite lovely. But yeah, we shall end on that today. Let me know in the comments about what you're knitting over this Christmas period, and if you've got all your Christmas knitting done in time. Lesson for next year, not going to be knitting anybody anything for Christmas. So I will probably do a like roundup of the year of knitting, because I think it was January last year that I started posting these videos, or was it February? Might have been February. But I'll do like a roundup of all the knits that I've been working on this year. Some of them I haven't finished. I know there's a pair of socks that I haven't finished. So might not include, well, no, I probably will include the ones that I haven't finished at the end of the ones that I haven't finished. But yeah, I will see you soon, and have a really happy Christmas and a good New Year as well.